to this short video on our introduction to Premiere Pro. By the end of this video, you should be able to load files into Creative Cloud, know what it means and why we will have them on Creative Cloud. We'll be able to open a new project in Premiere Pro. We'll be able to bring our files into Premiere Pro. We'll know a little bit about Premiere Pro with some of the work windows, some of the workspaces, the timelines, the CTI, and how we navigate around through some of those things.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the first thing that we're going to have to do is download our footage. So you can go to Drive, and again, you can find the link to this on campus. You will right-click and download the entire folder. That will zip your file up and download it. It'll take quite a bit of time. Or the other option is you can dive into that folder itself and download the files independently. You can see that there are 9 videos that we're going to need for this very first project. Once you have downloaded the files, you are going to need to move them into your Creative Cloud folder. You can use either the Windows File Explorer down here to open that up and find Creative Cloud, or on a Mac you can use your Finder to get Creative Cloud. But you're going to need to put all of your footage, and you can see mine is right there, inside your Creative Cloud folder. The reason for this is once you sync your Creative Cloud folder, you will be able to access this footage from any computer that has Premiere Pro on it. So if you're at home working, you have access to it. If you're in the building at school working, you have access to it. If you're at the library that has Premiere Pro, you have access to it. So no matter what computer you're using in the world, if it has Premiere Pro installed on that computer, you will be able to use the Creative Cloud files to be able to work on your project anywhere in the world. So this is going to be super helpful for us because we can work on our project at home as well as in the building itself. Now, I like to organize things, so I'm going to actually create a new folder within Creative Cloud and call this one Course Introduction. So now, Course Introduction is my project folder for this entire thing. Inside that folder, I've got another folder that has all of my videos. The reason why I'm going to do that is I'm now going to create a couple more folders in here, one of which I'm going to call Project Files. And the other one I'm going to call Renders. And you'll see why a little bit later, but this is going to house all of the files that I'm going to need to use Premiere Pro. Everything is going to be located in here. So I've got my footage, I've got my project files, and I've got my renders. Next, we're going to open up Premiere Pro. All right, when you first open up Premiere Pro, yours is likely going to look a little bit different than mine. But what you're going to do is click on New Project, and it's going to open up a new project window. And when we do so, we get this screen that says New Project. Well, we're going to call it a name, Course Introduction. And I like to put dates on my projects so that I kind of have an idea on when I'm using them. So I'm actually creating this on August 12th. And then we need to change the location. Currently, the default is wherever you've got your Premiere set. Mine is going to my storage drive, my hard drive. And I don't want it to be stored on my hard drive because then I only have access to that file when I'm at home working on this particular computer. But if I'm working on my laptop, or if I'm working on a computer at school, I won't have access to the project files. So what we need to do is go back up here to Creative Cloud, Course Introduction, and I'm going to put it in my project files, and I'm going to select that folder. So now you can see it's being stored in my Creative Cloud folder, inside that folder of Course Introduction, and inside that folder of project files. So now when I sync my Creative Cloud, I will have access to this project everywhere in the world. Don't worry about any of this other scary looking stuff, just click OK. Worry about changing the name, change the location to your Creative Cloud, click OK, and we're off and running. When you first load into that new project, your screen is probably going to look something like this. And it offers us a bunch of videos to watch to learn the basics of Premiere Pro. Forget all that. That's my job. My job is to teach you how to do this so we don't have to worry about any of that. So what we're going to do is up here, click on this word editing, and it's going to change the layout of our windows. The other way that you could get that to that is Windows, Workspaces, Editing. So we want to be on this editing panel. Now this is where we're all going to start. at some point in time, right? You're going to start freaking things out. You'll move this up here, and then this comes over there, and you're like, I'm freaking out. I don't know what's going on with my Premiere Pro. What do I do? All you have to do is go up here to Windows, Workspaces, Reset to Saved Layout. And then it goes back to where we started. Fresh, nice. And I want to go through what some of these windows and workspaces are. So the very first thing that we're going to do is import some media to start. So what we're going to do is go up here to File, and then Import. And what we need to do is go to our course introduction, and our footage is there. There's video 1. And now we have a video clip for our project. And I can toggle between, down here I can see list view or icon view. And I'll switch back and forth depending on what I'm doing. But this gives me a way to switch between seeing everything as a list, seeing everything as a little video. And you can see here's the video, and I can scrub through it and kind of look at that guy talking. And I can see that it is 19 seconds long, and it's got a little bit of audio to it. So that's what this is telling me. You see my blue square now in this little window. This is telling me my project file. This is all of the stuff that's part of my project file. If I want to create a video from this, I'm going to click, drag this over, and drop it into my timeline. Boop. All right, now you can see that I've got some stuff going on down here in my timeline window. Up here, I've also got this program file. This is showing me what the video looks like. And I can scrub back and forth to kind of get an idea of what's going on. Now, you'll note that down here in my project window, I've got two titles that are looking about the same, o1lao.mp4 and o1lao, and I can tell the difference of them. This little guy over here, if I hover over that, it says sequence. That's telling me this sequence is based on that. So what I will often do is go in here and rename. So I can right click on that, scroll up here to rename, and I'm going to change this to course introduction sequence. Now, I'll be honest with you, I don't normally label things as sequence, but I want to make sure that you can see the difference here. And if I go to list view, now you can see I've got, this is the raw footage that we brought in. That's the lao.mp4. And here's my sequence, which is all the stuff that's going to happen over here. So just a brief overview of what's happening inside here. This project window is showing me all of the content that's inside my project. I can go ahead and bring in the next video if I wanted to. So File, Import. Now I want to bring in video 2, which is Yoast. Drop him in there. Now you can see that video 1 was Lao, video 2 is Yoast. I can click, drag this over, and dump him in right here. Now, it doesn't really matter which track you put him on. You can go anywhere he wants. It's just usually better to have it on the same track. If the track is kind of freaking out on you and it's not letting you drop in audio or video, it's some of this stuff over here. Just make sure that these are all clicked on, and then it's probably going to do what you want. Right? So if it looks like this, chances are it's probably going to do what you want. So we'll talk about those a little bit later on, but for now, just put them all on, and then the program will pretty much do what you want. And then I'm going to drag this over so that it just kind of butts up against. So I've got clip 1, Lao, and if I jump over here, I've got clip 2, Yoast. And I kind of scrub through those and see the difference. So the overview, this, you can see my kind of blue box around here. This is all of the stuff that's in my project. This is the Premiere Pro sequence. These are the 2 videos that I've used so far to build out my video. Over here, this is our timeline window. This is our sequence. And you can see I've got clip 1, clip 2. Up here, and I'm clicking, you can kind of see these blue boxes going around. That's your active window. When I do that, you can see I've got my little timeline. So I'm just going to mute this again so you don't hear the chipmunky voice. And if I scrub through that, you can see it jumps from there's Mr. Lau, there's Mr. Yoast talking. Okay, the last thing that I want to do is show you how to kind of deal with this. See, I don't really know what's going on here at the end. I don't get it. So what I'm going to do is adjust my timeline, And to do that, I can hit the minus button on my keyboard and it kind of zooms out, plus button zooms in. So that's a way that you can kind of jump around your timeline. What I'm doing here, this little blue weird diamond looking thing, that's called your CTI, your current timeline indicator. Other people call it your playhead, but it's really the CTI is I think the technical term for it. I can move it around on this window or I can move it around up here on this window. So it's really just a matter of where you want to do it. The weird thing is if my blue box, if my preview window is activated and I hit plus or minus on that, you can see it's kind of changing the timeline up here. Zoom in, zoom out, but it's not really affecting down here. And if I'm down here and zoom in, zoom out, it doesn't affect this window. So that's a matter of which window you have active. And the windows you have active are the ones with the little blue box around them. So now if I do any of the timeline stuff down here, it's going to affect plus plus to zoom in, minus minus to zoom out. It's going to affect only the sequence window. The other way that you can do it, some people like these weird stretchy band looking things. You can zoom in or out with that. So if you take this little circle and drag it out, I'm zooming out. If I drag it in, I'm zooming in. And I can move where my playhead is by kind of grabbing the middle of this stretchy band thing. It's fine. Minus, minus. I like the plus and minus on my keyboard a little bit better, but some people like the stretchy bandy thing. If you like the stretchy bandy thing, use the stretchy bandy. That doesn't really matter to me. Okay, so that's the overview of Premiere Pro. No, not really the overview. That's the basics of to get us started. And in the next video, we're going to work on becoming actual editors. Yay!
So there we have it. We've seen how to load files from Creative Cloud into our project. We know how to start a new project. We know how to create a new sequence. We know how to retitle our sequences. We know how to load files from the source bin into the sequence timeline and how to navigate a little bit around the sequence timeline. So that's what we did in this video, and I'll see you in class.